unpatchable exploit that makes every current Nintendo Switch hackable, a type of title we get often around the internet. Out of interest, they talk about the terms exploits and vulnerabilities. So what is an exploit? According to Wikipedia, an exploit is a piece of software, a chunk of data, or a sequence of commands that takes advantages of a bug or vulnerability to cause unintended or unanticipated behavior to occur on computer software, hardware, or something electronic. So let's break that down. All programs, softwares, or computer codes are written by humans themselves, if you don't include the automated programming codes that got viral last year. And we all know humans are not always utterly perfect, so there remains some holes or problems in the code, like when a function which doesn't work with certain parameters. Let's give an example here. Suppose you make a calculator, all by yourselves, which you code line by line. But you didn't write a code for what to do when the user tries to divide by 0. And we all know when you divide by 0, well, the world gets destroyed. Nah, I'm just kidding. Basically, dividing by 0 will crash the calculator since it will trigger an infinite loop, which we will cover in the next video. So that's a vulnerability, that there is no function to save the calculator from technical error, and that's an exploit that the vulnerability can be triggered by dividing by 0. Let's come to today's top tech news, that there is a Nintendo Switch exploit which can let hackers to access the restricted storage of the popular Nintendo Switch, and what's more interesting is that it's termed as unfixable. So what is the Nintendo Switch exploit? It's a really complex hardware exploit which we cannot describe in few words. Rather, you can say that through an exploit which uses a vulnerability in the Tegra X1 system's USB recovery mode, which allows the hacker or exploiter to run his own code or command in the target device. This was discovered by hardware hacker Catherine Temkin along with an exploit finding team called Reswitch. The exploit is not so wild and viral yet, but the team has confirmed an POC or proof of concept code through which the Nintendo Switch can be brought into leaking some crucial information and allowing the exploiter to have full access into the device through an USB cable. But why is it termed unpatchable? Let's come to the point. What is a patch? A patch means a quick software update mostly released to quickly fix such devastating bugs, also termed as exploits. Let's come to the calculator we programmed earlier again. Suppose the developer came to know of the 0 problem and then releases an update. Calculator updates, just for the sake of supposition. The update has a code that says if user attempts to divide by 0, don't execute it, rather give a warning message that says something like undefined or unable to divide by 0. Thus he saves the calculator from the crash trigger or the exploit by a simple update, aka the patch. But the Switch exploit is termed as unpatchable or unfixable. Why? Because this is not just a little software vulnerability. A major part of the exploit includes some tinkering with the hardware by opening the back cover and corrupting the bootloader to make it work perfectly. So the fix cannot be downloaded. It needs to be fixed while it's in the factory, some way to make the bootloader not accessible or fixing it in some other way. So what do we do now? Nothing that we can say yet. For now, let's just chill, don't worry and wait for Nintendo to give an official statement. After all, it's not that harmful for the user since it's not a remote exploit. Rather, it's bad for the Nintendo company since it can leak powerful source codes. All the links and references used in the video can be found in the description right below.
So this is our first video on the channel named Scatter Paper Snappers.
If you have any ideas or suggestions, feel free to comment down below and let us know what you think.
You can also follow us on the Twitters and links are down below.
Feel free to leave a like and share this video to your friends so that they can